No Gifts, Please, the parenting podcast by the pair with no real gifts, but a whole lot of gumption. Hey everyone, I'm Steve Noviello.
And I'm Jenny Anchondo.
And look at us, remote.
Oh my goodness. It's our first on-location, on-site podcast. Dare I say, we are growing up as a brand.
We're growing up quickly and with the best possible partner. Martha Niebling with the Gaylord Texan Resort and Spa is here. First of all, thank you for being a partner for us during the holiday season. This is so cool. We're here kind of in the thick of ice.
Yes.
For folks that have never been here before, tell us all about it.
Well, we turn into a total winter wonderland. So we have 1,814 rooms, 125 acres. And during Christmas, it flips from being your normal hotel to really being like the North Pole of North Texas. We have 2 million holiday lights, 15,000 ornaments, a huge tree that you see behind us. I'm so glad you came out today just so you could see the amount of decor and lights. And then we have dozens of activities, everything from the ice attraction and snow tubing to gingerbread decorating and photos with Santa.
It's totally wild because this is something that I've been in Texas now for 11 years, and I have relatives that live in Houston, and every year they would talk about, we're going to the Gaylord. It was like this big thing, the Gaylord Texan, we're going. And then I thought, what is this place? Like, what is this magic that they're talking about? And I came here and then came for a story like a decade ago. And I thought, okay, now I get it. Like, now I get why people sort of surround their holiday season and then their summer season around coming here and staying here. Steve, I remember you and the boys came, I think you came last year during the very busy time and kind of came in to enjoy all of the escapades.
Well, because usually I'm here working, right?
Yeah.
I know you in a professional capacity mostly before we became friends. And it's a lot of like, we shoot Gift Guide here. Our news programs are out here shooting ice and the anticipation of ice and the setup for ice. And every time I'm here, and we've been shooting Gift Guide here for, gosh, it's probably 15 years at this point. I see so many things, but because I'm working, I don't get to go and experience them. So first, I just want to, for folks who have never been here for the holiday season, just coming to the property, let's just kind of start there. You had mentioned the lights, the decor. I mean, the whole hotel.
It's not like a little Christmas tree.
Right.
Like, I don't know how to describe without seeing it. Obviously, for people that are watching the YouTube version, you can see behind us, but like, it's indescribable.
Well, in the hotel itself, it's an atrium experience. You feel like you're outdoors. But it really has expanded over the years. There's now a light show that happens, every 15 minutes, starting at 6 o'clock every night. So for folks at the bare minimum, if you're going to come and you're just going to visit the property as kind of like a day lurker, for lack of a better term, what can they enjoy?
Well, the first thing I would do is go to ice for sure.
Definitely.
That is the most unique event that we have. We bring 40 master ice carvers across the globe from Harbin, China. They spend about 30 days carving 2 million pounds of ice into the attraction, which this year is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And so that's really something super unique you can't see anywhere else in the United States, bringing that piece of Harbin to Grapevine. That would be the one. But then Christmas Village, of course, people come for ice, but then they see, oh my gosh, there's a huge snow tubing hill and there's an ice skating rink with real ice and there's all these activities going on. But then the light show, like you said, we invested in a brand new atrium light show. So we have these beautiful holiday lights coming down from the top of the glass atriums. And at the top of the hour, it does a 15-minute show. And that's really special to see. Just grab a drink or a hot chocolate to enjoy with your family.
We need to talk about wardrobe for ice, you guys, because I don't want you coming unprepared and then like going too fast through it, right?
Because you're cold.
Because you're cold.
Yeah.
So they do, which is it's like you have thought of everything. So they provide you with this amazing, massive coat, and everybody will wear their like massive matching coats as you go through. But don't you think people should probably bring like hat, gloves?
Absolutely. I mean, at 9 degrees, none of us are used to that kind of temperature. And I mean, I wear a coat underneath the blue coat, but I have long underwear, I have socks and boots and my shoes, and you really can't like bundle up enough. And when you do that, it makes such a big difference when you're inside of ice because you can stay longer. There's ice slides that the kids love. So I see a lot of parents waiting while their kids go on the ice slides over and over and over and over. So I think it's really important. There is an ice bar,
So you don't want to be too cold to go in the bar if that's a part of what you want for your experience.
And you can stay in there for a long time. It's not timed. So, I mean, it's really as long as you can. handle the cold. And if you're prepared, then it does make a huge difference.
The cool thing that I love about the Christmas Village is so many of the events that we have across North Texas, they're great, but they're so weather dependent. This oddly is all indoors essentially. I mean, most of it. So the village, even though there's snow tubing and there's ice skating and there's a carousel and there's snowball fights and all of these things, it's inside the convention center essentially.
That does help. And that's, one thing for winter is weather doesn't impact our events. It's kind of the same in the summer because in our glass atriums here, it's 72 degrees all summer long. But because of all the light and glass, you feel like you're outside walking around, but it's not 100 degrees in here. So I think that does make a big difference as far as just protecting that experience. Because you're right, most events are outside and they are weather dependent.
And then for ice, if people are planning on doing ice or the other events, I mean, best practices. Are we reserving ahead of time? Are we getting tickets ahead of time? Like, what do you tell your friends and family to do if they're planning to come?
Yeah, a couple of hints, on the days that are non-peak days. So I think about it kind of like the mall. If you go to the mall during Christmas, super busy. If you go on a Tuesday at 10, not as busy. And during those times, if you look at our social media and a lot of our ads, you can find a 50% off ticket price. So if you're just coming for the day, I would say look for that. Because in addition to getting the good deal, you're also coming when maybe it's not as busy and you can have that experience. But really, there's so much to do here and there's so many fun things and you don't want to be rushed. And especially with kids, it's hard to keep on a specific schedule with how their day's going. So I always say book a night or two even and you have plenty to do to keep you busy. And it's just then more relaxed.
You mentioned at the top, there's 1,800 rooms here?
1,814.
I mean, that's a lot of space, right? But there's also a lot of conventions and there's a lot of people that like to come and stay here.
Right.
But you bring up an interesting point. Again, we've been here before for ice with the kids. Now you have, Grace is a year and a half at this point?
Yes.
It's kind of nice to be able to say, oh, you're cranky, you need a nap? Let's go to our home base. Let's go to the room. Let's go take that nap and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, I came with my family last year when she was really little, and I was so excited. I bought all the little cute snowsuit and all the things to take her into ice. And right before we walked in, she was dead asleep. And so I let the family go in, but I wasn't going to take her in the ice ton asleep. So I just said, you know what, I'll just go back to the room, let her take a nap, and then just meet up with you guys after. And of course, I have plenty of chances to go into ice working here, so it worked out. But it is nice to have that flexibility too. So when it is nap, or if you just need to kick your feet up in between, events, you have the time to do it.
There's also a lot of food choices on the property here as well. How many restaurants? And it's kind of at all. I mean, we've been to the steakhouse here, which is kind of a really elevated experience.
Oh, I love the Italian too.
There's also a snack bar. I mean, it's kind of, it runs the gamut.
We have a bunch of pop-up bars if you just want like a snack and a drink as you're going through all of the events. But then we have 4 nice restaurants in the hotel, anything from the sports bar to Mexican, or Zappole that you mentioned, Italian. And then Old Hickory Steakhouse is just finishing up a huge renovation.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
And it looks gorgeous in there.
Okay.
So the bar's open now, and the restaurant's opening very soon. And I would definitely recommend going there because it's just stunning.
And I'm guessing reservations ahead if you can for food and everything, just to kind of plan it out. Has your perspective on the magic of it all changed since Grace was born and since became a mother?
I think so. I think like the magic of everything changed, as when you become a mom. And so it's always been magical and fun for me. But I'm really excited for this year because she's finally to the age where I think she's really going to see the lights and be excited. And I put up the tree last night, and this morning when she woke up, she was like, the whole house was decorated to the 9, and I have a huge picture of Santa Claus, and she's like shrieking, Santa, Santa, Christmas. I thought this is great because I think it's going to be a fun year to bring her here. Oh. She's going to have so much to see and actually get really into it.
Right. Last year was for you, taking her through ice and being like, I know that you are in your snowsuit and you want to sleep, but now it's it's for her, and then building on the memories, because I feel like there is some stuff that's universal, but then as she gets older, I know the painting, that's one of Brighton's favorite things. You can go and actually experience painting, and I don't think there was a time limit on that either.
Right.
You can just stay in there and paint, and it's one of those things where in this technology-driven world where kids are, watching TV or on iPads or games, to sit and paint is actually such a luxury.
Yeah, I love that one. And then the gingerbread decorating, which is right behind us on the deck. That is super fun
So
too, and that
we-
can be a baby all the way up to. I mean, I like to see
Yeah.
the
I love it
decorations of
too.
the red
Yes.
house.
We did the painting. And
And?
I don't know if they still have this as an option. If they don't, please correct me. But pro tip, you can choose like it's a snowman or it's a Christmas tree, or so, but there was also a blank canvas option. And we
Yes.
chose the blank canvas, and the boys painted paintings, and now they are a piece of art that is in their
Oh,
room.
I
And
love
it's been hanging
that.
in their room since they did it 2 or 3 years ago. And it's, of course, totally abstract because they were,
Right.
whatever
Yes.
age. They were both they're given the same color palette, so they're kind of two complementing pieces of
Sure.
artwork, and they're not dated because it's not a Christmas tree that we chose.
Right.
It's one of my favorite keepsakes in our
I love
house.
that.
And it's on a piece of stretched canvas. I mean, it's like a legit
Yeah. It looks
piece
nice.
of artwork.
You could
Yeah.
probably have that canvas framed.
Oh, I did.
Oh,
I have
did
a
you?
flare and
It's
floating
probably
frames. Yes.
gorgeous.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
it's great. It's great.
I'm totally
and
going to do that this year.
It's the
Yeah.
best. Do they still offer the blank ones?
They
Okay.
do. It's really cool to watch too, like the variation between just like a kid just painting blobs or
Yeah.
whatever, all the way to like really expert like artists.
Yes.
I'm amazed by some of
At
the
some of the
painting
things
that
that they
people
do.
do. It's crazy.
The
Well,
other-
and the experience here is you kind of alluded to Santa at your home, but all of those things are here. So, I mean, you can come in, you can just kind of lurk around. Definitely go check out Ice. You want to check out the Christmas Village. Maybe you'll have a staycation. But I mean, you can knock out pictures with Santa.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can, I mean, all of those things. So, how often is Santa Claus here?
He's here usually in the evenings.
Okay.
So like after about 4:00. And there's a schedule on the website so you can look
Okay.
at it. But there can be a long line for that.
Yeah.
So that would be a pro tip is just to come early, be one of the first ones in
Yeah.
line. I'm kind of curious what you guys think about the age that like they start to freak out at Santa. Because last year Grace was cute and just sitting there. But now that she's like uber aware of
She's
people,
aware.
I'm curious how that's going to go.
This
Martha,
might be the
this
year,
may-
Martha. It's
I
gonna be
think-
the bad
I think
year.
We can safely say, unless she's, although you've started to kind of expose her to, did you say you put up a
Right.
Santa in your
Santa
house?
picture.
Okay, so
Mhm.
that could, I feel like that could help it. Like, it's when they've never ever seen anything that looks like Santa before, and then they have this awareness that they're on this stranger's lap.
Yeah.
So you could do yourself a favor by continuing to like show Santa, or
Maybe
maybe like
read
a
some
Santa movie or something.
books.
But
Yeah.
yeah, if she's gonna freak out, like it's this
Yeah.
year.
Well, but you've
And
got
it'll
a
be
good
cute.
you've got a good in. I feel like you could go with her, and I feel like Santa would have you on his
Maybe.
lap also.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. I've met him.
I love Santa Claus.
He always says hi when we see him when we're here working every year.
He comes with Mrs. Claus too, and
Now,
she
she
does
does
like a
story
story
time,
time,
right?
which
Okay,
is
talk
real
about that.
sweet for little kids. So that would be geared towards little ones. But they just sit there and have cookies and have a
So
story with
sweet.
Mrs. Claus, and that's really fun.
The one thing I've never done, but I walk by it every year when we're here shooting Gift Guide, is the holiday escape room, and I've always wanted to go.
Okay.
Have you been?
I have something to say about this. I have not been because we came, and again, like speaking to having the room,
Yeah.
we came when Gemma was, I don't know, 6 months old or something. She was itty bitty for the summer with some friends, and we were celebrating a friend's birthday and hanging out. And so I stayed with Gemma while she napped, and they went to the escape room. And you guys, it's no joke. They were like, "This is the hardest escape room we've ever done."
Yeah.
So I loved that because we had a teenager with us, a teenage boy, and we were kind of thinking too, like, what's in it for him? And come to find out, tons of stuff
Yeah.
was in it for him because they were swimming, and then I think like went to the arcade and the good food and everything like that, and then the escape room, which apparently I
Yeah.
haven't been in it myself, but like, is
I-
it known to be hard, or was my group not good at it?
I don't
or-
like to admit this, but when I've done it, I have not escaped it. Like, I don't know what that says about me, but no, they do make it really challenging. So I think, it's kind of hard, but at the same time, my nephews that are a little older, like, they love it so much. And I have a sister-in-law that's super into escape rooms, and it's her favorite one.
What's best practices for that? Is it one single room, so you really need to make sure that you kind of plan around, or how does that?
Yeah, so each reservation is like one escape room at a time.
Okay.
There's only like just your party.
So
it's a
you've
good
booked
group thing
ahead
do.
to know
Yes.
we're going to be here at this particular
Yeah.
time. Okay.
They do give you hints. You can call on a little phone and be like, I need a hint, please.
Yeah, our group, they were like mortified. They were like, "Oh my gosh,
I
why
was
was this
too.
so hard?" But I do think it's so fun because we're obviously all three of us have little children who
Yeah.
just are absolutely delighted by every single thing here. And I do think sometimes a parent with an age gap or an older child, they're like, "Oh, what are they going to do?" Like,
Right.
send them to the escape room.
Yep, for sure.
The other thing that I want to talk about is the actual holidays themselves. So the Gaylord is, I know some people are listening and they're thinking, okay, like I'm doing the math. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of fees, renting the room, the whole thing. You guys have a beautiful holiday brunch that you do.
We do.
Which I feel like when you look at the amount of time, first of all, to plan brunch, and then to shop for brunch, and then to create brunch, and then to enjoy
Clean
brunch,
up
and then to clean
from
up
brunch.
from brunch.
Right.
I mean, dollars and cents wise, I mean, it probably is not that much of a stretch to
Yeah.
come here and enjoy it.
We did that with my family last year, and we did that same exercise of like, well, if we do it at my house,
Right.
we'll go buy all these things. And it was like the time and then the money was almost the same amount and the cleaning. So we came here and it was so lovely because it's a really, really good brunch and they have so many good foods and it's buffet. It's kind of like there's stations,
Yeah.
food stations, so you can go
And that's
eat
actually
whatever
on
it is that you
Christmas
like.
Day.
They have them on all the holidays. So Christmas Day we'll have one.
New Year's?
New
Are you
Year's,
doing-
yeah.
Oh,
And then
Yeah,
regularly,
that
Easter.
is fun.
New Year's is a great idea. Regularly as well, like, or is it just, hey, we do it on the holidays and that's when we do
Those
it?
are the big ones,
Okay.
yeah. And then there's brunch in our Riverwalk Cantina restaurant just
Okay.
on the weekends too.
And
that's
I've
a
done
really
that.
good
It's
one.
actually quite
is really
robust.
good.
It's a brunch that will leave you full for the rest of
Yeah.
the day. Like it's very solid. It's very hearty. If you went out the night before a little bit,
Yeah.
then it will like fill you back up. You will feel ready to rock the next day with the kids. I think it's really good. But yeah, I love the idea of doing too. Like I think for working parents, it's kind of like there's so many holiday things that will come up. And so you start to piece together, oh my gosh, when am I going to get pictures with Santa? When am I going to get a family Christmas photo? And I will say there's so many great opportunities, like legit
Yes.
get in here now and you can get your Christmas card photo taken, unless you're Steve. And this is so ridiculous. You guys, we did get one sort of faux Christmas card. It was like a we've moved, but also Christmas card. Yours was the very first like actual Christmas card that's come out. Steve's already gotten his, so he can't do Gaylord pictures. But for everybody else who's normal and like not on top of things like Steve, you can come here and get. I think there's just. I mean, I'm picturing like in the
Oh, it's
gingerbread
everywhere.
area.
There's so
You
many.
can do something inside of ice. I would say take like a little selfie like ring light in there with you.
Yeah.
Or just position yourself, right at the entrance. Or I mean, any of the trees. It's just so good.
The number of I was like, okay, I know we're a little early with our Christmas card this year.
At this point,
but
you're
here's-
showing off.
Here's the thing. The number of texts that I got from people that were like, "Are you kidding me with this?" Like, I said, "Listen, I had a free hour about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I'm going to do this right now, or this is going to be a Valentine's Day card because that's how busy my schedule is,
Right.
right? So." Let's just do it. I got on Shutterfly. I had pictures from my 50th that you were both at.
Yes.
I was like,
So fun.
easy breezy, like boom. And this year for the first time, and I'm notoriously cheap and I've never done this before, I was like, you know what, Shutterfly? You can address them, you can postage them, and you can mail them yourself.
Oh,
nice.
hey,
I've
like,
never
I
done
pushed
that.
enter, and it just all happened on its
a
own.
great
and it
idea.
felt amazing. Okay, speaking of great ideas, we've both been here with families. I want to know, what is your best hack for visiting the Gaylord during ice? Jenny, do you want to go first? Like, what's your best pro tip or your best hack?
Okay. This is like very. I feel like I have so many things, right? So many things. Do stay, especially if you have like the little kids and they want to nap and everything like that. And do surprise them. To me, for like Brighton, so she's 7. Surprising her with this is like Disneyland. We can't be getting questions for weeks leading up to it.
Yeah.
We can't be, is Santa going to be there? Are we going to get to go to ice? Ice skating is her favorite part, by the
She's
way.
probably
So
very good at
don't
it with
sleep
her
on the ice
skills.
skating.
Yeah.
We were very sore afterwards for a couple of days, Heath and I. So I think like you can't tell them about it. Otherwise they go so nuts. I think tell them like the night before or maybe the morning of, and then get the
great
reservations,
idea.
like have it kind of loosely planned out and then plan for downtime. Like it's kind of like one of those things when you go on vacation, you kind of think, oh, I want to do this, but like plan for the downtime, plan to like grab an ice cream or a Dippin' Dots or like a little treat, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Pictures. This is very, very important. Again, Steve, you're not in this equation because you already did your thing.
Done.
Pictures are the first thing you do when you get here.
Yes.
They are, because you want to be able to act a fool. Like you want your kids to be able to spill the ice cream and whatever. You get in, you get serious, you focus, you find your spot. You may even like scroll online and find your picture spot beforehand and find the most direct route to it.
That's a great idea.
And it's like kids, you've got to participate. And once you smile and give us a lovely expression, like you love your family and you are so excited to be here, then we get to enjoy.
I love that.
Like pictures first. And then I mean, you don't have to think about anything from there and make a dinner reservation.
I always, too, bring a friend along. So they like it because then they get to do all the things with us and I'll buy the tickets. But that way I have someone to take all the pictures, too. Because it's hard when you're here with your own family.
No, that's so true.
Like, who's going to take that photo? And I do that a lot here walking around. I'll see, like, one member of the family taking it and I'll always offer, can I take that for you? But...
Well, and in the gingerbread area, there's somebody taking photos sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was just that was what they were supposed to be doing, but it felt like sort of like a part of the experience was somebody was helping out with
We
pictures.
have so many too. I think that everyone in those iconic blue ice jackets, I think that is like the ultimate Christmas photo.
Yeah.
And I have so many people that will show us, like, I used to come here as a kid and now I'm bringing my children here. And they'll pull up a photo of themselves and they're recreating that. And I think that's super special. Like, to have that many memories. I love that this has really become a tradition for people, like, since their childhood. And now they're getting to do that as parents.
I totally agree. And also if it's not in the cards to be able to travel again, like working parents, I think sometimes you can have that guilt of like, we're not going on a big grandiose vacation somewhere. This is a vacation. Like we're just lucky and we live close. So we don't have
know
to.
that you're only a few miles away.
Yeah,
Like once you're
sure.
in here, I think
It's a
you could be
different world.
100 miles away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here are my
Okay, let's
kind
hear
of
it.
best
Yeah.
practices. So I do agree on the photos, right? And here's the thing, people, husbands, if you're listening, wives, whomever it is, please defer to whomever it is in your family for whom the photos are important, right? Like,
Yes.
understand that they picked out the outfit, they got everybody ready, you got here, have some patience, take the photos. And kids, if your parents feel like they've got the picture, that puts them in such a great mood that
Yes.
suddenly it's a yes day. Right?
Yes.
We're saying yes to everything. We got the picture, we can say yes to everything you want to do. I like to plan downtime. That's activity for the kids still. Like we talked about the painting earlier.
Yes.
That's downtime, but it's also downtime that has a kids activity. So the kids can paint. You can sit and
Right.
watch them paint. It takes a while.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody wants to grab some snacks or whatever else. Because our experience has been there's so much to do here that it's actually a little hard to get your kids to just sit on a bench somewhere because there's so much to do and go
No,
and look and
that's
see
true.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
they're
So
so
we try and do
excited.
like a quiet activity with them. The other thing that I will say is, regardless of whether or not you're staying here, we brought like some snacks with us, like in my day bag, like a couple of protein bars or whatever it is, just for convenience. I mean, there's food everywhere, but just the idea of like, okay, like here you go.
Nobody getting hangry.
Right.
In between.
Yeah.
Hangry is
Yeah.
is that a good idea? And then also, do you know how big the property is? I'm putting you on the spot here.
125 acres
Oh,
on
okay.
total.
She does-
Yeah.
She did
Yeah.
literally like we can't stump her.
Sensible footwear. And I know that it sounds a ridiculous tip to give people, but like there's so much, it's a lot of
lot. You're
walking.
gonna
Did
get
you,
your
did you
steps in.
see what I walked in?
No, I saw you
today?
hobble from your car to the front in like a 4-inch heel.
They're probably
what is it?
beautiful.
They're very
then.
cute.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Steve
They're
does not
not
appreciate
sensible.
They're not sensible.
They're
I
not
also
sensible.
knew we were just coming directly
Coming
here
here
for
and
our.
there.
This is our
Yeah.
equivalent of a photo, right? This is like our photo. But yes, I completely.
I mean,
agree.
even the walk from the front door to ice. I mean,
Right.
it's a long walk through the hotel, and it's great because you get to go see everything and whatever else. But again, you do yourself a favor and proactively plan to remove the my feet hurt. When are we going to get there?
Yeah.
And then also dress in layers is my other thing because there are spots where it's cold. Ice being one of them, obviously, and you've got the parka, and that's great. They don't supply gloves, so
Right.
have your gloves.
Definitely have
'cause
your gloves.
your little fingers at 9 degrees are
Yeah.
also very cold.
because you need to be able to take pictures. So like
Yes.
the trigger
Yeah.
finger gloves.
I
Yes.
even love those hot hands you can buy.
Yes.
Yes.
And those make a big difference. And they have ones that you can put in your shoes too.
Absolutely.
We love those.
And then once you leave there, now you're in the Christmas village and it's warmer. But again, you're playing with snow, you're ice skating, you're kind of doing that. And then you come into the atrium where you keep it cool in here, but comparatively it's not
Oh,
cool, right?
yeah.
So like the kids are going to want to take off the sweater or the flannel or whatever else that he has. So definitely bring a bag, dress them in layers. And the other thing too that I will say is I love to come here in the late afternoon because it's not quite as crowded, but then you also get to experience sunset and then it being dark, because this
Yes.
building
Oh, the lights.
in the
Totally
daytime
agree.
and in the nighttime is like two different destinations,
Yeah,
because
it
you can see the
feels-
lights during the day. You certainly can. We can see them right now. But at night,
Yeah.
it is. In fact, we started shooting Gift Guide years ago. We used to shoot during the day. Every year we shot during the day, whatever. And I said, why don't we shoot this at night? It airs at night. Let's shoot it.
Yeah.
And it is such, and we've never looked back, because it's such a different experience to be here
Stunning.
at night when everything's illuminated. But I'm assuming it's probably more crowded in the evenings as well. So if you kind of get there in the late afternoon, you know, when the morning people are gone, the evening people haven't come in, you do all your activities and stuff, and then you kind of do your walking around as the sun is setting, and the lights really become majorly impactful.
Right.
It's
That's
really
really
nice.
good advice.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about working here is if I work a late night during
Uh-huh.
Christmas, if you walk through and it's like midnight
Yeah.
and everyone's gone to bed,
Yeah.
there's something so magical
Yes.
about it. You're just
Yes.
underneath all the lights and it's so quiet and silent, and it's just like, it's breathtaking, really.
During COVID, we our mandate was, listen, you can shoot there, not from you guys, from our own management. Everyone was still very sensitive about being 6 feet apart. When they said
Sure.
we cannot see you on camera within 6 feet of anybody, and we said it's a hotel. Like, how
Yeah.
are we going to do that? So we decided that, I don't know if you remember, we shot at like 11 o'clock at night. We came here
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, overnight, and you're right, it was quiet. The music was still on, the lights are on, all the things are happening, but it was such a different experience to be here, like you're on the streets of,
Yeah.
wherever.
There's nothing
all
like
lit
it.
up. It was so cool. It was so cool.
I think my pro tip too would be there are so many shopping opportunities. So to remember
That's
that
such a good point.
Okay,
Yeah.
is Kendra Scott doing a pop-up here?
they are,
Okay.
and it's beautiful. So you have a chocolatier, you have the Kendra Scott.
Build-A-Bear?
Our Build-A-Bear is the busiest Build-A-Bear like in the whole, city during Christmas time. And then we have a bunch of retail stores that just have beautiful items. So I do a lot of Christmas shopping here too. So when you're in between events, just make time to
love
stop
that.
by.
I love that.
Now, you're also open on the holiday. Like, you could come and stay Christmas
Yeah.
Eve night and wake up here on Christmas morning.
I think that is huge because so many places are shut down.
Yeah.
And then you have family that's in town or you're looking for something to do. So from the time we open November 15th all the way through January 5th, there's not a day that we're closed. So Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, like New Year's Eve.
Oh my gosh, I would love this
those
for
are
New
great
Year's
times to come.
Eve.
Yeah.
That's a great sort of tradition to start.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes for the littles, it's like, what do you do for New Year's Eve? Something like this would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. Okay, so let's run it down for people because we're running out of time here.
Okay.
Okay, so step number one, what? Website, and then go buy tickets and book, or how do
so you
people
just
access?
go to Christmas@GaylordTexan.com, and then that'll take you to all of the information and then link you to different room packages you can
Okay.
purchase, event tickets if you want to do those in bundles or a la carte. So all that information, just Christmas@GaylordTexan.com.
And then also the coupon codes, because I know people are going to want to use them. Do they
Yeah.
change frequently? Where, do I find them on
They
your
do-
Instagram
so
or what?
every like different ad has a different one, but if
Okay.
you just go to our social media, our Instagram or
Okay.
Facebook, those are up there regularly, and that is a great deal to capture.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my
This has been so
gosh.
lovely. You guys are always so nice to us.
Thanks for
we're
coming.
thrilled to have a partnership with you for the holidays.
Same.
This is really just been a beautiful, beautiful experience. I can't wait to come back with the kids.
I just think we're going to need an update on Grace's Santa photo.
Yes,
like,
yes,
that's
yes,
really
yes.
what everyone's
I
gonna
will be sure
waiting for,
to send
so
you a
keep us
photo of that.
posted.
I'm guessing
us
it's
know how
going
it
to
goes.
be terrible.
All right, let's run our information down for you. Remember, we drop a new episode every Tuesday morning on your favorite podcast platform. So be sure to click like and subscribe so that you can always know what we've been up to. And if you do nothing else today, go find yourself a friend you don't need to clean the house for. We'll see you soon.